Hello everyone, welcome to Switch Up, as we once again have a look at some of the games coming out for the Switch in this upcoming week. In terms of dates, we'll be going from the 3rd of February up until the 9th, and we'll look at a few games that are already out before moving on to the week at hand.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that the end of January is a little bit dry, but there are still a couple of little gems in there.
So what exactly is coming out? Well, let's find out. Let's start with a game by the sponsor of today's video, and their upcoming release on the Switch, KonoSuba, God's Blessings on This Wonderful World, Love for These Clothes of Desire. Now the KonoSuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, or KonoSuba for short, series has been running for a while in various forms, be it light novels, manga, anime, as well as having a number of video games in the franchise, and this latest one about to release on the Switch is a visual novel adventure. You follow Kazuma and company as they discover a mysterious black slab which curses them with desires contrary to their personality. The gang must then find and feed ingredients to the slab to create outfits which match and fulfill their new desires, thus breaking the curse. KonoSuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, Love for These Clothes of Desire will cost £44.99 or your regional equivalent, although there is 10% available off of that price up until just before launch, with the launch date being the 8th of February. We will put links in the description and the pinned comment if you are interested in this game, and thanks again to the publishing team for sponsoring this episode. Let's start with a few games that are already out then, and the first of those is Anomaly Agent, which released about a week ago now. This is a cyberpunk action platformer, which according to the blurb features fluid combat, a time-bending story, quirky characters and a catchy synthwave soundtrack.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I don't know anything about this one. I hadn't seen it at all, but all I saw was a load of positive reviews. It currently holds a 9.1 from users on Metacritic. It's got an open critic score of 85%. And I love cyberpunk and I love this, this genre. So this is a little gem that's come out and it's currently on a sale, 15% off until February the 7th. But the RRP is £13.49.
Now I'm actually going to slot in one extra game because we totally missed this one and it needs to be mentioned. It's the Eastward Octopia DLC. Now yes, it does require the base game to run, but it's an entirely different genre to the base game and is its own game. It has about 20 hours of content, it's like Stardew Valley, and I was blown away in the review I did the other day about just how good this is. If you like the Eastward base game, it fits perfectly within this new genre, and the developers have gone above and beyond for what I think is just a crazy price. At the moment it's actually got a 10% sale as well, so it's even less than the asking price of £4.99, and I really think we should be supporting developers that release content at much less than they could. They could easily have charged 20 quid for this, and I'd have still given it a good review score. As it was, it scored 90% over on the review, so maybe go check that one out. That's already out and available, and you can download it now through the eShop.
Next up is another release that's come out in the last week or so. It's Grime on the Nintendo Switch, which we have actually reviewed on the channel. This is a Metroidvania Souls-like, a Soulsvania if you will, that features almost like a black hole that draws everything into itself. It has an interesting mechanic whereby you have to parry to restore a bar that then allows you to heal yourself. You have a number of different weapons, and it's I don't want to say grimy world because it's just too obvious. It's a dark and disturbing world that you inhabit.
Also already out then we have Avaris 3, which appears to be a strategy game where you build armies.
Yeah, it looks like you can actually train up your troops and then take them online and fight people around the world, which is quite cool. We don't have many strategies. In fact, we don't have enough strategies. We need Rome Total War. That's what we need on Switch.
Yeah, they could definitely bring a few of those sort of games back, couldn't they, for sure. As you mentioned, you can play online, you can also compete against friends and family, and there is a cooperative mode for this Nintendo Switch version. The blurb says that the game engine has been improved since the previous game in this series, with the program they're using now specialising in Horde versus Horde modes. This released on the 31st of January, and there is currently a discount of 15% off up until the 6th of Feb.
The next one is an arcade game called Trashpunk, which released with a chunky old discount. I think I picked it up for 90p, something like that. And it's very much just a pick up and play top-down twin-stick shooter arcade game where you start off each run, trying to make your way through the stages, killing all the enemies. It's like two buttons. You've got shooting and you've got changing weapons, and there are different ones that you'll pick up and they get added to your list of unlocked items. Other than that, it's just simply chasing those high scores. It looks nice, it sounds nice, it feels good. I did miss having some form of dodge roll and things like that, but that one came out a couple of days ago.
Lovely. Let's move on to the games coming out this week now then, and the first of those is Alisa Developers Cut. This is an action adventure survival horror game inspired by the classics of the 90s, obviously Resident Evil being the one that springs to mind,
But the whole thing is set within a doll's house, I believe, is that right?
Yes, you need to escape the doll's house, and it has those pre-rendered backgrounds that obviously the Resi series used in its early incarnations, and a number of different weapon loadouts that you can collect and obviously use.
This does have full voice acting, and it says that that's also part of the nostalgia, which I'm guessing means it's going to be absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I think this is the only genre where you could use that as a positive, you know, like we've got bad voice acting. But I do like the look of this one, you know. I mean, I think you'd have to have some love for those old school survival horror games, because some of them are a chore to go back to these days, but it's definitely one that interests me. £16.19, potentially a bit on the high side. We'll see how it fares, but this one releases on the 6th of February.
Excuse me.
Then we've got the narrative puzzle adventure CLeM. Now, I have actually seen this one. I did see this. The art style kind of stood out. It looks a bit like a mashup between Isaac and Futurama. But this looks quite interesting, and it's at a reasonable price as well. The blurb says that you have to experience a dark adventure full of mystery. You awaken in a cold, dimly lit room, your senses slowly adjusting to the surroundings that oddly feel familiar. Sounds like me every day, honestly.
You could have just called it Saturday morning.
Yeah, they could have. Literally. Yeah, different puzzles, craft enchanted toys, apparently, and it describes itself as a puzzlevania.
Okay, love that Vania word, don't they?
They love
just
that Vania word.
Merge it with anything. Do you want a sandwich Vania? Should we go for a drink Vania?
Exactly. Yeah, interesting. Wonder how that plays out. It's £13.49 and it releases on the 6th.
Well done, but we are not finished yet.
Also this week then we have Dungeonoid 2 Awakening, which, as the title would imply, is a take on Arkanoid, the classic arcade game. It features a mix of dungeon crawling and that brick breaking action that the Arkanoid series is known for, where you control the deflector platform, ricocheting a magic orb to destroy the targets.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I've never played Arkanoid, so I haven't a clue. It costs £7.99 and it releases on the 7th.
Absolute Philistine. And finally for the week then we have a platformer called Jubilee. What caught my eye about this one is the fact that the blurb makes a big case for saying that it's a pure platformer. There are no power-ups, there's no any sort of statistical progression, it's all just about getting across the levels, and you know, sometimes I like that.
Yeah, this is from Red Art Games. You've played a few of theirs recently, haven't you?
We did speak one, funny enough, yeah, the other day, didn't we?
I wonder if this will have a physical as well. Yeah, so a pure platformer, looks nice enough, has the 2D art style that you're probably familiar with now, to be fair. I wonder if it's precision platforming in the Celeste style, if it's like a difficult one, or if this is just, you know, standard.
It mentions precision a lot, so
yeah,
I'm thinking it's going to be on that top end of difficulty, or, you know, creeping towards it. It also mentions it's non-linear, which surprises me. In a world that's just about the platforming, I would have expected it to be more linear. This one is out on the 9th, and it will cost £8.99, or your regional equivalent. So there you have it, another week of Nintendo Switch releases. As Mark said at the start, dry January is at an end. February has started pretty slow, it must be said, but hopefully the releases will start to ramp up soon.
Absolutely. Thanks to all of you. As we said at the start, if you want to save yourself some money, use our codes in the description. And yeah, just leave comments down below. We always like to check those out.
A quick thank you to our patrons and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.